my understanding of the situation, and this is just from a Variety article that I read a while ago, is that Kevin Feige, once a week, he sends an email to the head of Sony describing what his children wore to school that day, and that pretty much.
With every new Sony Marvel movie announcement, it becomes a little more clear that they're using some kind of diseased AI to generate film ideas. So we figured, hey, we're diseased, we should come up with movie ideas. Watch the video to hear the bad ideas that we've come up with. So we just got done talking about the news that Sony is going to be making a movie based on El Muerto, who is about as obscure a comic book character as you can get. At least within the Marvel universe. So I thought it might be interesting for the three of us to kind of talk about our dream Sony projects. And by dream Sony projects, I mean what we think Sony might do next with the cast of characters they have open to them, what kind of movies they might be, how big of a train wreck they might be, or how good they might actually be. So that's my fervent wish. So I was just, there's a lot of Spider-Man characters out there that you don't necessarily need Spider-Man for. What kind of bad or good Sony movie do we think that they might make after this one? Nina, what were you thinking about that? I told you to look up some obscure Spider-Man characters.
Yeah.
What did you find?
Well, as you know, I have an encyclopedic knowledge of Spider-Man characters. I know all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I know every single one of them. All in my brain.
Right. And I found to list them alphabetically. Go.
I found a list on looper.com. It's fine. It's fine. Synergy. Okay, so listen, hear me out. So I got really stuck on this one guy, Stanley Carter, who is better known as Sin Eater.
Sin Eater.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So this is very complicated, and because I'm not good at comic lore, but basically he is a SHIELD agent who got an injection that gave him superpowers, and then he can shoot. He has a magic gun, which, already off to a great start, and it can absorb the sins of the criminals he kills. But then he also gets their powers, but then the criminals come back to life. So here's my pitch.
It sounds great.
Why isn't he called Sin Shooter?
Great question. I don't have an answer. Here's my pitch. We make this, as if I work at Sony. I don't. Sony makes this movie.
Not yet.
Yeah.
And Eliza Dushku, we gender swap it. Elijah Dushku plays this, and we bring it all back. The train is agreeing with me to a TV series that I've gone on record as saying is good and not a giant pile of crap. True Calling.
To the ground.
Anyway, it's my pitch.
Sin Calling.
It's gonna make
True Calling, Sin Calling.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what a Sin Eater is? Have you ever heard of that phrase before?
No, that's not a common turn of phrase.
Yes.
It's an interesting concept from, like, I want to say the medieval period, where basically you would pay someone to like, when you were dead, someone would be paid to, like, come to your funeral, basically. I don't have all the specifics, but I think this is it. Come to your funeral and, like, legally take your sins on so you could go to heaven.
What?
Yeah.
Do they still do that? I might need it.
If not, it sounds like you've got a business you can start running. I don't know.
I'm gonna scam a lot of people with this one. It's gonna be good.
It's like a whipping boy, right? Like if you're a little prince in a castle and you misbehave, right? You don't get punished, but your whipping boy does. It's the same concept.
Right. Okay.
Right. Sin Eater.
So then
we were raised in very different households.
Yeah.
This is from school. I learned these things from school.
What school did you go to where you guys had whipping boys?
What school did you go to?
I went to college. These are things you learn about when you study, like,
in what class? Weird things
hazing.
people did once?
It's not
English Lit 1?
I didn't learn about this in English Lit 1.
That's too obscure? Okay.
I don't know.
This guy, entirely too nerdy in a different way. Okay, so Sin Eater. So that's
so if we're going to do Sin Eater, can we do, like, a female version of Sin Eater and call her, like, Cinderella?
Yeah, exactly. Cindy. Her name's Cindy, and she eats sins.
I'm just trying to It doesn't make sense to just have one movie lined up.
Right.
We
You
need
have
an
to have a whole
entire
family.
universe based around her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Cindy can fight the Sin Eater, and then they can team up together against the Angel Summoner from the Mitchell and Webb sketch.
Look, all I'm
Being
saying is
expanded.
that this is a $1 billion idea, and Sony should write me a check. You're welcome.
Okay, very good. Thank you for finding a character.
What I understand, they probably will.
never
Yeah, they
heard
probably
of
will.
before.
Yeah.
Tom, what about
Anyway.
you? What are your thoughts about this?
I had two really, really good ideas.
Okay, what do you got?
I think there's. I think you probably know this about me. I'm very smart and full of good ideas, so I had two. I had
Obviously.
two of them, and one of them seems like the obvious choice. We're going to go back to the Identity Crisis story from the '90s. We got Peter Parker goes out, makes himself a whole bunch of different non-spider costumes, and then changes his mind about him, gets rid of them, and four diverse teenagers take on the personalities of the Slingers. You remember the Slingers, Brian? You're a big Slingers
This is
man,
literally the thing I was going to talk about too.
right? You were going to talk about the Slingers. Introduce the Slingers to us.
The Slingers are Ricochet, Prodigy, Hornet, and Dusk.
There it is.
And
All four.
somehow, so I think Prodigy and Hornet are basically kind of like pseudo Iron Man guys. They have like suits that give them superpowers of some kind. Ricochet is all like bouncing and throwing things, so that kind of works with Spider-Man's super agility. And
It's
I
also
don't
got
know
a spider
what
sense, which is like it comes out of nowhere. It doesn't matter.
I don't know what Dusk's deal was. Do you remember?
Yeah, it had sort of a cloak and dagger style teleportation cloak, and also did Green Lantern stuff, but with shadows because she was real dark.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was real dark. So yeah. So do you think that a movie like that? I mean, it's a legitimately decent idea for a superhero movie if you're going to do it because they are
It's
four.
not.
Well, I'm saying they're
It's
no, it's
ass.
not. But
It's New
But they're-
Mutants. It would be New Mutants, but worse because it would be a Sony movie.
they're four characters.
It's okay.
that
New
no one
Mutants
really
doesn't
ca-
exist, and it never came out. So this is totally. It's okay for this to come out.
There you go.
They're four characters that nobody cares about that you could do anything with. They are, again, they're Marvel adjacent, so you can call it a Marvel movie. But again, clean slate. Like, if someone has a decent idea, you can do a lot with it. It's just that, they won't.
We talked about this before. Everything sucks until you get a good writer. My second idea, speaking to that
Yes.
same point, really just harkens back to the fact that Sony at this point, they're the weird kid in class that makes the cool thing not cool anymore. I feel like that's what they've been doing with Marvel for a while,
Yeah.
right? Like when I was in sixth grade, like everybody had a yo-yo. It turned into this real, like everybody was learning yo-yo tricks for about 6 weeks, and then like the one, like the weirdest kid in class got one. We're all like, we're done, and that's what Sony's been doing with Marvel movies. And I think that they could probably go farther than they already are. And what they really need to do is bring the Tom Holland Spider-Man into the situation. This also goes back to the 90s, back when Spider-Man was getting all these clones of himself made. You got your Ben Reilly, obviously. You got your Scarlet Spider, but you also had this guy named Kane, who was the first all doinked up clone of Spider-Man that got made. And one of the doinked up things about him was that he was like half a head taller than regular Spider-Man and all messed up in the face region.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very on brand for Sony to bring Tom Holland in to play this character and then just do like a real half-ass job of CGIing his face onto a taller guy. You know?
Ooh.
Where like
feel
the
like
guy
having, like-
moves and then the face catches up half a second later.
Yeah. I'm
great.
talking Will Smith genie, just like Snapchat filter Tom Holland
Yeah.
on top of somebody else.
So you're saying just steer
an
directly
hour
into the skid and never
26
look back.
Yep. That's my plan.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I mean, now that you mention it, though, wouldn't it be funny if they did a clone saga and they had all these Spider-Man clones running around, but none of them are played by Tom Holland and Spider-Man never shows up? It's just like the clone saga taking place, but Spider-Man's not in it. Because
Nobody,
you know what I
ever
mean?
says the word Spider-Man. during the
Right. They
movie.
say everything but. They say it's like
Right,
some
'cause
kind of
legally they
spider,
can't.
comma, man.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
some kind of he's crawling on walls, like some sort of a wall climber. Yeah.
And you get Scarlet Spider, you get Spider Side, you get the Jackal, you get all the principal players from it except for Spider-Man, because for whatever reason,
Perfect.
I mean, again, right? Like if
We get
Sony
Alice and Janney
could
to play
use,
the Jackal. What?
yeah, if Sony could use Tom Holland as Spider-Man, like, wouldn't they? Why
You think,
haven't
right?
they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
gotta
don't
assume because
understand what's happening.
my understanding of the situation, and this is just from a Variety article that I read a while ago, is that Kevin Feige, once a week, he sends an email to the head of Sony describing what his children wore to school that day, and that pretty much takes care of the whole thing.
Perfect. Yeah. So maybe we'll see one of these great ideas showing up on a silver screen near you, or maybe we'll get a Big Wheel movie. Remember Big Wheel? We talked about Big Wheel.
Yep.
Big Wheel. Jackson Wheel rides around on a big wheel.
Pigeonholed from day one. He's never going to do
Dr.
anything but get a
Octopus
big
solo movie where it's called Ock. I don't know. These are
That's
all
a
terrible
musical.
ideas.
Wait, no, you're describing a musical. It's Ock with an exclamation point at the end.
Yep.
Ock.
It's got one
watch
tentacle up
that.
in the air in silhouette.
Why don't you work for Sony? These are great ideas.
I keep trying. They won't return my emails except for with C&Ds.
Thanks for watching Everything Marvel. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more videos about your favorite Marvel stuff is coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.